What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Just waiting for a few people to come on in before we get to talking about what's going on. What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Just wanted to come on and talk for a quick second about things that are going on. It's a lot going on in our community. It's a lot going on in the community. I'm not going to be on long. I'm not going to be on long tonight at all. I am very, very, very tired. So I'm not going to be on long at all. Just going to have a really brief conversation about what's going on. You know, how did our community get to where it is right now? You know, but I also want to talk about the positive things. Matter of fact, I think I want to talk more about the positive things. Okay, what's going on, y'all? It's your girl Enrique, and I am here tonight, keeping my word, getting myself ready. On Tuesdays, Thursdays at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 6:30, and Sundays 11:30 on Clubhouse. So, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. For those that are chiming in now, those that might chime in later, I wanted to just talk about, I don't never talk about current events, but we're sitting here watching my YouTube and realized that they had arrested Mr. Diddy. And so I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be different, y'all. Babylon's fallen. Y'all better understand, Babylon is falling, and everybody that belongs to Babylon is getting ready to fall. And unlike with R. Kelly, how R. Kelly went down by himself, and everybody's like, well, what about the people that was around? Why, the people that helped it go down? And so, according to the press conference that I watched, the New York was like, "This is no way. It's not over." Lean up. It's not over, and I believe that we're going to see more people. Unlike, unlike, um, unlike R. Kelly, in this case, we're going to see more people, um, you know, being exposed. Okay, we're going to see more people being exposed, and excuse me, rightfully so, expose them all. So, I feel for our community, for those that believed in these people, that those that believed the hype of these people in our community that have gone from, our community have gone from strong black men and soldiers, and who our elders were, Black Panthers, and everything else, to now the foolishness of, you get to the top in your nasty tail, you know is stocking hotel room with baby oil because you're getting ready to rape brothers and sisters in our community. Sicko. So yeah, the Babylon is falling, the matrix is falling apart, and everybody that's been following these people and knowing that something, I don't think that even knew the extent of what they were doing, but we knew it wasn't right. So anyways, that's that. But even with that and all the wrong that it is, you still have to see the racism in it. you still have to be able to see the systematic racism and how it's working. Because I remember growing up and watching Hugh Hefner. Well, not watching him, but there was stuff about the Playboy Mansion and Hugh Hefner and all this stuff about Hugh Hefner, all in the Playboy bunnies and all this stuff. So you can't tell me that it started with Diddy. You can't tell me that it started with him. You can't tell me that it started with R. Kelly. No, what happened is they got to the top and they became to act like they're masters and they forgot that they were still Negroes. Okay? And they got beside themselves and they thought that they was like their masters and forgot that they were Negroes. Because I ain't never heard Hugh Hefner getting charged with anything. And we know that Weinstein and Epstein never ever would have been charged if we didn't keep pressing the issue because they took R. Kelly. So you know, but watch them destroy this empire. Watch them take down as many black people as they possibly can this time before they'll ever touch their own and crumble their own. They all need to go. I'm not saying trust. They all need to go. But I also want us to look at the systematic racism within inside of how it's going down and why they're going to crumble all the people of color, but have yet to go after years and years of their own people that have been raping and have been pillaging and have been doing all these things in our community for decades. They have been raping our children, our men, and doing all these things for decades, and they got away with it and never once want to persecute or has persecuted anybody. Even the woman that falsely accused Emmett Till. They didn't go drag her butt into the courthouse, but they sure did drag old Bill Cosby. So I'm not saying that these people are right. I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is you still have to look and see the systematic racism within how they go after people that are wrong. So, you know, it be who it just I'm just like, wow, and we do nothing about it. We just sit and watch the injustice. And I'm like, they have done so much and have not held up any. What about all the people that, golly, golly, you ain't never go after your own people. They don't never go after their own people for nothing. But that's what them fools get for forgetting who they were and for doing all the evil that they did. When they got the opportunity, they could have went in there, made their money, and got enough money and said, we don't care about nothing else that y'all say, and go back and help our community and rebuild our community. But no, they chose to do evil. And this is what the root of all money is, the love of money is the root of all evil. So okay, let's scratch that and get off that topic now. Let's talk about Africa. Do you all see what's going on in Africa within the last 2 days? If you have not, I would say go to Facebook and check it out. Africa is calling for Africa, not just Africa. Africa is calling for Black people all over the globe to unite. They are calling on everybody that is of color to unite. Again, they're not just saying Africa unite. Now they're saying, I don't care if you're in Jamaica. I don't care if you're in the United States. We don't care where you are. It is time for us to unite. And they're bringing some straight facts as well. So they're in their elections as well. And they're doing the same thing that we're doing. They're saying we're demanding now. We are demanding that, that what belongs to us, and y'all need to get on. And so pay attention. Don't be so caught up in ABC, NBC, and CBS that you're not looking outside to places like News in Africa. If you are paying attention, they're trying to get rid of Africa Stream. And I believe that is another platform where they're showing you what's going on over there in Africa. And it is definitely, when I listened to Her Excellency, when I was listening to her, I was like, wow, like there's so many similarities of what we're over here dealing with as far as our election, with them talking, 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 but what are they going to do for us finally? And she breaks it down so eloquently. And I said, you know what? I don't have a very big platform, but I can tell you the things that the Spirit is showing me and the things that I'm hearing. I'm looking and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it and I'm getting excited because I'm like, man, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. And when it does, oh, it's about time that we come together in unity. And one of the things that she was talking about also is, how brainwashed we are. And she started to give examples of saying that the truth of the matter is, our real leaders, when the Europeans and everybody came to get us, the real leaders, their heads are in jars in certain parts of, like, I forget where they were. Sorry, y'all. But they're like, y'all got them in museums and stuff. And then they talked about America and how America has so many of our artifacts and our elders in display, in museums. And then we have to come and we have to actually pay to go see what actually belongs to us. And how ludicrous that is. How ludicrous that is. All the different things that they have stolen and they have taken from us, and then they charge us to go see them. And so, and then they said, then America has the nerve to come over there and try to teach them about humanities. And you still have pieces of our ancestors. You still have pieces of our ancestors' hands, fingers, skin. In some of the homes in America, some of these people still have our ancestors here in cheers and all this other stuff. And you got the nerve to want to come to Africa and teach about humanity? I'm trying to tell you, they're waking up, and we need to wake up. It's not about hatred. It's about finally being able to go back to governing ourselves. Like they said, it is time for Africans to leave the United Nations, because whenever they get to the United Nations, there's nothing about what they're going to do to restore Africa. The same way African Americans need to leave this damn presidency alone, because they're never talking about what they're going to do for us. Instead, it is time for us to understand who we are and where we come from. They did not find us like Tarzan out there in the bushes, on the trees swinging, and they needed, we needed them to do. No. They got us because they seen how we were living. They seen what our ancestors had built. You're talking about kings and queens and kingdoms that are still in existence. So, we need to remember who we are and break the daggone table and stop with the ridiculousness of going around a circle and circle each year. And we couldn't even get to freedom before they're already trying to tear everything down. Take affirmative action. Oh, no, we're not going to teach Black history. We're not going to teach this. Florida, we're not going to teach this. We're not going to teach that. Oh, get rid of this, get rid of that. Wait, we ain't even got to the promise that you owed us with the 40 acres and a mule. We're the only ones they have not paid reparations to is us in Africa. And when you look at the comparisons, and then she talks about how they have really brainwashed us and have, from the time that they've taken us from the house slave in the field Negro, they started bringing division. And then it was the light skin and the dark skins. And the division, the division, the division, and we still have so much division today. And so she was really, man, I was like, everything that I was saying, she is saying in such a way that I was like, I want everybody to go watch that video on YouTube. And I'll put it up. I'll put it in the comments or something later. I did a live on it. I don't have it set on my phone. But anyways, it's going down. You know, there's a call, and I'm noticing that the same call for the people in America, African Americans, is the same call for those in Africa right now. And it's the same exact call. It is time for us to come together. It is time for us to stop trying to have a seat at the table, remember who we are, build our own table, and begin to govern ourselves again, because that is the dream of my ancestors. That was the dream of your ancestors. It was never the American dream. It was never, ever the American dream. That was not, our ancestors were not punks. You have to understand that first they fought. They fought. And then the ones that were fought to leave and got captured, the horrific things, that the torture. And after a while, you know, now you got, maybe the son wants to run, and the mother's like, you can't run, in fear, you know? And so, but don't act like they didn't fight. And even, listen, y'all, even through all of that, it is our ancestors that built Black Wall Street. They didn't just build it once. It wasn't just in Tulsa. It was in Florida, in Georgia. They were all over the place. And this was a time in the worst of the worst still for our ancestors. As we know, because what did they do? They bombed, they flooded, the massacres, right? But even in the midst of all that, our ancestors knew how to build strong economics. They built hospitals, they built businesses, they built libraries, they built economic structure. They owned, because they still remembered who they were. So after years and years of them coming and burning down and coming and flooding and coming and raping and coming and doing these things, we became docile because of fear. Generations stopped being raised in fear instead of strength. And as we're in fear, now they're removing the family structure. So Big Mama's gone, Daddy's gone, and now they're going to take Mama too and make her go to work. And so now our family structure is jacked up after our ancestors raised theirs and made sure that theirs was okay, that their children were taken care of, that their families had all the family structure. We were too busy taking care of their families and their family structure, and then coming home and feeding fear to our children. And saying you have to be the best, but also fear. Don't be too good. Don't keep your head down. In fear. To this day, we have to teach our children about the police. You have to teach your children how to conduct themselves in a certain way. Not just be your best, but also what? Fear. It's still in our community to this day. And so you take us out of the picture, and what do? We hand our children into the institution. As early as kindergarten, as early as Head Start in kindergarten. Now Big Mama's not there, Mama's not there, Daddy's not there, and now the oppressor has the heart and the mind of your children. From kindergarten all the way up. We are teaching you now. We're going to teach you history. We are going to teach you this. We are going to teach you that. We are going, and all of it had nothing to do with us. We didn't get to learn the way that we should have learned at the feet of our elders. And this is why our community is the way that it is right now, because we exchanged our culture and our family and what we knew. We exchanged that for them. But we should have been watching our ancestors. We should have been studying our ancestors, because our ancestors knew how to maneuver in the midst of white hate and white rage, where they could actually still come and just decide that they want to take you and hang you or whatever, but they still built economic structure. So why don't we study them? Why are we studying the forefathers of psychology? And why are we studying the forefathers of this country and the forefathers of da 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 that have nothing to do with us and does not help us regain anything that we have lost? The only time they want us to look is Malcolm, Martin Luther King, and a little bit of Malcolm X. That's all we get? Come on, people. We have to understand, how did our ancestors, in the midst of Jim Crow and everything else, erect over 600 businesses, hospitals, airports, and all these other things, and we have nothing? And it's 2024, and we have, where's our airport? Where's our hospital? Where's all of our business? Where's our business district? Where? It is 2024. We have more freedom. We have more Black people with more money now than we've ever had in the history of being in America. And where is any of our institutions? Because we are so lost in the sauce. And then with those that do get it, they forget and they go right and act like the white man. And that's why Diddy ass is going to prison now. And right where he rightly deserves to be. And all the rest of them that are getting ready to go down. Right where they rightly deserve to be. They deserve to be under the prison for what they have done to our community. And ironically, and you have to remember, if our community did not put the stamp of approval on them, none of them would be where they are right now today. None of them. So I tell y'all, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on in Africa. Pay attention to what is going on in Africa. Pay attention to what is going on in Africa. They're fighting for the same things that we're fighting for. They are also fighting for the corrupt to be gone. And they're saying it's time for every Black person to understand, who understands who we are, to come back together again, to finish the race of our true forefathers, where we are in leadership and where we govern ourselves again. Everything that they have given us over here has not been for our greater good. They said, oh, we'll reform people. If we'll put them in our prisons. Do you see America's prison? Where's reformation? Where's restructuring? Where is what? They're horrible. And they're in there, and our men, again, in there raping and doing craziness to one another instead of getting better. Where are we getting this mindset from? Where is this sickness coming from? Where did we learn this behavior from? A lot of materialism. A lot of materialism, Gina. And they fell for it. And they all thought they were untouchable. And now they're all getting ready to fall and crumble. But the good thing that I do want to talk about is I do see a lot of different groups starting to come together in America and in Africa and just all over. I mean, Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, um, uh, what's the other one? Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, Ghana, Kenya. I mean, people are definitely coming together. So don't miss it. And don't be so focused on the falling of Babylon and all that are getting ready to fall, because this time not only are we going to see Diddy fall, you're going to see all the rest of them, and that includes those that are in the gospel, those that are into the gospel stuff that's supposed to be spiritual. And we've been known they secular. I don't care what they singing. They so they done sold themselves. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Sold their they exactly they did. They sold their souls for some paper. They actually did. And that not just their souls, their community. You know, they sold their souls and their community. And you think about, we're the ones that helped them get on. Never had it. And that's where they got wrong. See, they got up there popping them bottles and thought they were just like them people that hire them and give them the money, because somebody had to give Diddy all that money, right? Who the billionaires are the ones that gave them a little bit of money, made them think that they were exempt. They set their asses up. They set them up. That's what they did. They set them up. And that's what they get for deciding that they would turn on their people instead of helping their community, that he become a menace to the community. And all the rest of the menaces need to be exposed, and I believe that they will, according to the court case, you know, according to what that New York prosecutor was saying, or whatever he was, that yeah, they about ready to tear the veil down, and we're going to see a whole lot of more people. And I hope that people understand, that it's not just the music industry. It's all been smoke and mirrors. It's all been smoke and mirrors to make us forget that we ain't never made it to the top. Yes. Yeah, that's what it was. The attorney general. Thank you. Yes. Yes. They put the black one up on it. I noticed. But I tell you, this is just the beginning. Babylon's about ready to fall. Babylon's about ready to fall. But even with all of it, I just want us to remember, even with all of this, that what's going down, do you think that Diddy's the top? He's not. He's not. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. And the fool, these foolish, they foolish. They foolish. But anyways, to talking about the good stuff, I just seen something. Yep. Jay-Z, all of them are going down. They all. Ooh, honey, I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna see some spiritual leaders going down with them. You're gonna see some spiritual leaders going down with them. I mean, the veil's getting ready to get ripped, because it's enough of the foolishness. We have been hurt and jacked up for so long in our community, and just hurting one another. And when we get the chance to get ahead, it's like we zombies, brainwashed. I don't know. I do know. And that's exactly what is brainwashed. But some of the good stuff that is going down is brothers and sisters are coming together. And I just seen something in Mississippi. It was on YouTube as well. I don't try to watch a lot of TV because there's nothing on. But I was watching they were talking about soul food. Now, Mississippi has the largest obese community. the most sickness, and they're the most obese in um, in America. It's Mississippi. Hold on, I don't know if I can do this. My grandson needs to be let in. Okay. And so the beautiful thing about that is that when it was all said and done, they got to the end of the schools in Mississippi, and they're teaching the young children about how to eat healthy. And they've now changed all the diets in the school systems, and they're eating healthy food. And they took all the processed food out, and they're training the children at a very young age by what? Going back to our original culture of gardening, and teach them how to garden, teach them how to cultivate, teaching them how to, eat and cook plants and things of that nature. And this is what we must do in order for us to heal. In order for us to heal, it is time for us to take off this fake habitat, to take off this mindset of this Western mindset of this American dream, and to now understand our ancestors and what they did and what allowed them to move the way that they could move. Because again, we have built nothing. So, what is our excuse besides the fact that we are dealing with post traumatic slave disorder and we are dealing with Stockholm disorder? Because there's no reason why we should still be underfoot right now. With all the wealth that the African Americans have all together, with all the knowledge, with all the wisdom, we have enough doctors, lawyers, police, um, teachers, scholars of every sect. And this is why we get it wrong. We get it wrong because we're too busy fighting with each other over 1%, the name of who you call your deity. Because besides that name of who you call your deity, we are all still fighting the same fight. We are all still fighting the same fight systematically. We are also fighting for equal pay. We are also fighting for, just to be able to breathe and be who we are and raise our children at an equal table. We're all fighting to still stay alive if we happen to have to call the police or the police get called on us. They're not asking us who you with or what religion you are when they're shooting us or whatever else is going on in this community, when they're poisoning our food and they're poisoning the crops and they're giving you fake meat for years. They're not asking, or are you Hebrew? Are you Muslim? Are you Moorish? Are you an African traditionalist? They're not asking these questions. They're heaping us all together. When it comes to housing and redlining, they're not asking. They're looking at this. And so, outside of what name do you call for your spiritual relief, everything else is very similar. If you have a righteous mindset, then it's very similar no matter what you call yourself. There's a standard for to be a husband, there's a standard to be a wife, there's a standard how you raise your kids, there's a standard how you take care of the elders, there's a standard how you take care of the stranger in the gate, there's a standard how you take care of the homeless, there's a standard how you take care of those that get out of control. But according to whose standard? If you're not in the right tribe, you look crazy. And then we're fighting. Find your damn tribe. And then apply what you know to your tribe and get strong. Just take a minute don't shoot at nobody. Don't be shot at. Just be with the people that you're with, vibe with them, get strong so we can heal, so we can build. Because when they built, guess what? We all lived in the same area. But yet they built Black Wall Street. They built economic structure. They weren't so busy shooting at each other and calling each other demons that we didn't build anything. So we need to stop looking at our oppressors. We need to stop looking at what they're giving us to study. And we need to really look back at our own forefathers and how did they do it? Because they're the ones that built it. They're the ones that built it in the midst of the hardest of times. Do we really need all this stuff that they're teaching us in these schools? Do we really need all this history? Do we really need all this history when we know it's not even the truth? Do we really need all of their psychology and all of their findings and all this and all of that when they didn't build anything? They stole. They came and stole and conquered, and then used your forefathers to build their empires. And guess what? Our forefathers, after they built theirs, they went and built their own. So why is it 2024, almost 2025? Where's Black Wall Street? Where in one place in America? Where is it? But you will see a Chinatown, you will see the Jewish community, you will see the Amish, you will see everybody. But where, Black people, where? Because you're too busy fighting one another. You're too busy fighting one another. We're too busy being divided. This is why I said it's time to heal. What is the solution? The solution is we must come together and we must talk and we must be okay that we have our differences so that we can sit long enough to talk about something besides how you spell his name or what the Savior's name, or is there a... What about economic structure? What about what are we preparing to do when Africa's currency actually steps up and comes into play and it tanks the American economy, or the American economy gets such a bad hit? What are we going to do? What about land acquisition? What about demanding and coming together and again and saying, we're not going to do not a damn thing until you pay us what you owe us? What about having the balls that our ancestors had to say we won't get on the damn bus? It wasn't about just marching. They didn't get on the bus and they sank the economy. And that's when they found out how much value we have in money. And that's when they decided, okay, we don't want them to own anything, but we sure can give them money and make sure they give it right back to us. So I'm just saying, come on, y'all. It's not about hatred. It's about, aren't you tired of being the last? Aren't you tired of them playing in your face? And then even when they give it to people in our community, they will tear us down after they, after they poison your mind, give you all that money, poison you against your community, and then when they're done with you, they blow the whistle and they pull it all back, so you won't have no generational wealth. It's crazy. We are the only ones in Africa. We are the only ones that they have not paid back. And I will say, just like Her Excellency said, African Americans have never needed America. We have never needed America. America has always needed us. And that's the same thing that Africa is saying. Africa has never needed America. Africa has never needed America for anything. America and all the other places that got their hands in Africa need Africa. Understand that. Just think about that. We ain't never need them. Africa ain't never needed them. They've always needed us. When we realize that and we stop fighting one another and we come together and we heal, then we can have the community that we know. We can go back to being soul brother and soul sister, and knowing if you need something, I got you, and knowing one another, and being outside listening to music and the things that we love to do without the police coming or Karen's coming and all these other things, and just having a peace about ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's time for us to rise up and remember who we are. And it's time for us to rise up, put a smile on our face, and be like, we ain't got to live like this, and we don't need permission. We just need to give them their stuff back and embrace one another. And then let's see how things go. Then let's see how things go for us, because we are resilient. We are so resilient. And no matter what, even I was watching something, I was like, even when they gave our ancestors the leftover pig guts and intestines, right? Even when they gave them the least of the least and the worst of the worst, soul food is a staple all across America to this day. All across America to this day. They turned around and we turned it into something that is still a global thing right now. So no matter what we do, and no matter what situation they put us in, don't we see? Can't we see the illusion of inclusion? Our people are hurting from it so bad. Don't they see? America would not have anything, any awards, any of it. No gold medals, nothing, if it wasn't for us. And they strap the red, white, and blue on us and say, go run for our country. Go jump and twirl for our country. And then we sit up there and they play the Star Spangled Banner or whatever, and we our best of our best are out there, and they got their hand on their heart, but yet for a country that is still shooting and murdering and in lynching and hanging and belittling your people. All I can say is those that have an ear to hear, it's time out for talking. You know, I've called on this Week of Peace retreat, August the 3rd through the 9th, strategically, because August 5th falls in there. And August 5th is a significant day because that's the day we finally united together without asking for permission. That's the day we didn't care we didn't ask what denomination or who you pledge with or who you rock with. That day we finally did something. We came together and we stood and we fought for one another. And so that's why I purposely made this day that August the 5th would be in that week that we're all together, that those that are coming that understand, that are coming together. It's more than just a retreat. And that's why I said, listen, where y'all at so we can start planning now. So by the time August 3rd comes, it's not a bunch of strangers coming and meeting, but we have been fellowshipping. We understand we got some strategic plans in place. Because there's things for us to do as far as healing and coming together so that we can come together, that we can wake up, that we can have something to offer our children and our children's children and our children's children. Because unfortunately, Babylon will fall. And unfortunately, a lot of us will have family members that will not listen, that will not heed, and that will not believe, and will have to walk away from them. We'll have to walk away from them. But I hope that you're ready and you're prepared. For those that understand what's going on, that you're ready and that you're prepared. Yes. My condolences, my heart goes out to you. I understand what it's like to bury a sibling. So, I know that for me, like I said, this week of peace, I'm getting my coins ready. I'm investing outside of the United States. Okay, y'all, make sure that you're investing outside of the United States. Make sure that you're investing outside the United States. I'll say it again. Invest in gold in South Africa. Look it up and see, look at BRICS, find out about BRICS, what's going on with BRICS. You might want to make sure that you got some money and some investments in China as well. I don't know about Russia and Iran and all the other places, but South Africa and China are no-brainers. So when the currency cracks, the American economy, that you still have some money that in something outside of this American paper currency. Alibaba is another place. I'm not an expert in any of this stuff, y'all. I just listen to my spirit, and it leads me to certain things, and I do a lot of research. And this is what this I'm just sharing with you some of the things that have been revealed to me. I don't watch a bunch of different people. I'm not one of those people that are like, I'm watching this. No. I ask for wisdom. I ask for guidance, and I find stuff. It pops up, and it comes. I'm like, oh wow, and then I'll start researching. So that's how I found out that I need to invest in some gold in South Africa, and if I'm going to do anything in China, I'll probably invest in Alibaba and find some other stuff. And you can doesn't have to be a whole bunch of money. Take $100 and do two things in two streams in China, two streams in Africa. Um, People should be talking about that. Buying land, coming together and buying land. Have you thought about that? I know that I'm looking outside of America, even outside of Africa right now. I'm looking at different places. Do I plan on buying land in Africa? Absolutely, but not right now. Okay, not right now. So for me, but I still have my orders. I know what I need to do. So if that's what I'm saying. Like, you got some orders. Like, you hearing anything out there? Is it just me? I know it's not just me, because I'm seeing my brothers and sisters. I'm seeing people buying land. I'm seeing them, and I'm just like, oh man, when I see them out there and they're at the ocean, I don't care where they're at, whether they're in Africa, or they're in Tobago, they're in Costa Rica, they're in Panama, they're in Belize, and they are living back like Eden. And that's what I want. I don't want to have to go and do the 9 to 5 and be stressed out and, still not have no money and all this other stuff, when I know, because I've done the research, that I could live the way that what it cost me for 1 month's rent in Massachusetts, I could live for a year. You understand? What it cost me for 1 month's rent in Massachusetts for a 2-bedroom apartment, I could live for a whole year in Belize, in Costa Rica, in these other places, and still make my money and be actually living out of the rat race on an island with real fruits, real vegetables, with the sun, the way that the Creator intended. See, the Creator didn't intend for us to work 9 to 5. The Creator didn't intend for us to give our children to go into an institution at 6 or 7 and stay there until they're almost 20 something years old and then work, 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 work. No, 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 no. That's not how we were created. That's the American rat race. So you can either decide to live the American rat race and keep following everything that they keep saying, or you can go back to your ancestral tribe and learn about your individual ancestral tribe who is pulling you. If you're seeking, which tribe are you being pulled into? And then you celebrate that tribe and you let other people celebrate theirs. I don't have to be in your tribe. I'm not required to be in your tribe. If we're in the same tribe, ashe. Let's get it and let's talk and let's strengthen each other. And if we're not, it is still okay. I'm just not going to study with you. I don't need to study with you, and I don't need for you to tell me, but let's just build. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to lie to me. You understand? It's not difficult. It's not difficult. And you can't say, oh, no, we can't do that. That's not righteous. That's a lie. You do it every day. Do you go to work? Do you go to the grocery store? Do you go get your nails done? Do you go get your hair done? Do you give money do you give money to other nations? All the time. But you won't give money to your own sister or brother who look like you, that's living righteous, but under their guidelines of their own tribe. It's ridiculous. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Stop it. Because while we calling each other evil, the real evil is over here taking our children that want to be musicians and got them in hotel rooms with baby oil. Anyway, I'm Marike, and I'm a community restoration and purification specialist. I've written books. I've been in the community for about almost 4 decades, assisting young women to transition. I have an international group of young women that I have walked with. I walk with young women regardless of their spiritual sect. I have daughters who are spiritual daughters who are Hebrew, spiritual daughters who are Moorish, spiritual daughters who are Muslim, spiritual daughters who are Christian. And so I know what I'm talking about, because no matter what they come to, everybody's dealing with the same things. And they all have a heart. And they all are serious about what they do. And they all have a love for one another. So I know it can be done. I know it can be done because we walk that way. I have sisters that I love dearly, that I have been I've been in your tribe and realized it's not for me. So I had to leave your tribe, but I didn't leave my sisters, and my sisters didn't leave me, not the real ones. Now the other ones, oh, she this, she that, woo, well, that's your heart. Because my sisters realized, okay, that ain't changed who she is as a person. I've been through, if I named all the different tribes I've been through seeking for myself, but you know what has not changed? My assignment and what I do with these young women for 40 years almost. My assignment and what I do has not changed. What has changed is my title. My title has changed, but my assignment has not changed in almost 40 years. My purpose and what I'm supposed to do with women that come into my life has not changed. My title has changed. I went from this to this to this to who I am today. Because I've been digging and I've been searching and I've been digging and I've been searching. And the only thing the other thing has changed, my heart has done nothing but grow bigger for my community. The deeper that I dig into who I am spiritually and who my ancestors were spiritually, The more I dig, the more love I found from my brothers and my sisters in my community. The more I found myself, the more I started to look at my ancestors, the more I started to understand certain things about myself, the more love I gained from my brothers and sisters. The more I realized it's okay that it's okay. It's you don't have to be like me. But as long as your character lines up with who you say that you believe, then we should get along fine. Because I shouldn't have to worry about you hurting me, and you don't have to worry about me hurting you. Because we both have a standard of righteousness. And if we start looking like that and start talking like that, maybe we could sit down at the table long enough to stop talking about the name and the title and get to work and get to building the way our ancestors did. Because if you go back and look on YouTube, on those old videos, you will see everybody was in the same community. And that's how we were able to get what we needed when we sank the economy, when nobody took the bus. I didn't care if you were Muslim, if you were Christian, whatever, nobody took the bus. We all unified, regardless of name, regardless of title, regardless of belief. We knew if we were going to be successful against the evils that we all were up against, then we had to come together. And that's how we were able to initiate change. And this is how we were able to build Black Wall Street over and over and over again. My name is Arike Michelle. I'm the Community Restoration and Purification Specialist. My organization is called PI, Purifications International Enterprise, where we focus on the healing and restoration of our people. I look forward to speaking with y'all. DM me, hit me up. Like this is what it is. This is what it is over here. And if what I say interests you, if you're doing something positive, if you understand what I'm saying, greetings, hey sis. And you know what I'm saying? Then come on, we done talking. Jump in, or I don't know. You better jump in on somebody's boat. All right, y'all. I'll be back live. I kind of come in throughout the day, learning to blog. For those that know, also I'm going to have a major operation October the 1st. And so I'm going to bring y'all through the rest of my healing journey. And once my side is healed, we're out of here. We're out of here. And I'm going to take you on that journey too. Hopefully I won't be going by myself, but if I have to, hey, I'm out of here. Okay? So I love y'all. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for staying on with me. From my heart to yours, remember, be good to each other. We do not need permission to heal. We do not need permission to build. What we need is respect for one another's differences and know that that is okay. Choose love. I love you. From my heart to yours. See you all Thursday.